Hey, I'm Brian Lee, and you're watching Equity TV.
We travel the country searching for investors who are building equity in their businesses and equity in their lives.
Smells like money.
Hard-working men and women who've decided that they've had enough with the status quo. We break down their deals, and then we see what they do to reward themselves. Equity means ownership. How much equity do you have in your life?
Coming up, Sean meets with Mal Vaughn to break down his second investment property. Then they escape the city and venture into the great outdoors. Later, commercial real estate investor Chuy Terrazas shows me the gem of his portfolio, and finally introduces me to some of his friends. Next on Equity TV.
Hey guys, John Digman. Check it out. This is Mal Vaughn's second investment property. You ever met a guy who's extremely analytical and kind of afraid to take risks? Mal's a CPA by trade, so you all know what I'm talking about. But he's gone out and he went and bought his first investment property 2 months ago, and now he's already on to his second. He's done a great job, so come on in and check it out.
My name is Malcolm Vaughn, and this is our second investment property, and we're very proud of it. Purchase price $41,000, rehab budget of $35,000 with closing cost of $8,000. All in was $84,000.
All right, Mal, tell me about the house.
Well, it was built in 1951, Sean. It has 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, and a single-car garage. We did a lot of foundation work. We replaced most of the existing roof. It also had some existing hardwood floors that were refinished, and it really came out outstanding. After repair value of $117,000, all-in cost of $84,000 with an unrealized equity of $33,000.
So what'd you do here in the den?
In the den, we opened the opening into the living room. We opened the entry into the kitchen in order to get proper flow. We completely repainted it with white trim around the cased openings. We replaced the light fixture with a fan and light fixture, and we completely retiled the whole room.
So you said you leveled the foundation. Did any of that happen here?
Yes, that's the first thing that we did. When I first came in here, I found 3 holes in the concrete. So I thought, well, there goes the existing tile that I thought we would be able to keep. We had to do the foundation first, and then once the foundation was complete and level, then the rehab started.
Yeah, it looks like a bomb goes off, doesn't it, when all that stuff happens?
Absolutely. You had dirt out here right in front of this fireplace. The rent on this house is $1,000 a month. Our costs are about $690 a month with a net cash flow of $310 a month.
So what'd you do here in the main living room?
Completely repainted it, 2-tone paint, widened the existing opening into the kitchen, widened the existing opening into the den, replaced the light fixture with fan and light fixture, and completely resurfaced the hardwood floors that were here.
This master living room is beautiful. These floors are awesome.
Yeah, our guys did really a great job. This floor had 3 significant stains. It was completely dirty, and this hardwood floor is probably 40 years old. We used hard money as a way to buy this house as well as finance the rehab cost. And our out-of-pocket after we refinanced to a 30-year fixed-rate loan was about $15,000.
So what'd you do here in the kitchen, Mal?
We did more in the kitchen than anywhere else. We expanded the opening into the living room, expanded the opening into the den. We completely repainted it with a 2-tone color scheme, refinished the cabinets, added a new light fixture, retiled the whole floor. I took out all the old ceramic tile and replaced it with a laminate that looks like granite, and we added a tile backsplash.
I like that you've taken a lot of time and effort in the kitchen in certain areas where your family's going to spend a lot of time in there. It looks like you've really just replaced everything in this kitchen. Our contribution to the purchase of the house is about $15,000, which translates to about a cash-on-cash annual return of about 25%. So who's this guy, Mal?
Sean, this is our general contractor, Rob McGoldrick, and this is the second house he's done for my wife and I as investors. The budget on this house was 3 times what it was in the previous house, and he did one hell of a job. But particular emphasis on redoing the interior with the kitchen as well as refinishing the hardwood floor. With so much work, how did you guys communicate? How do you make that relationship
every
work?
job is different. With Mal, communication was key. We were on the home phone, we're on the cell phone, we're texting, we're emailing. I was there every minute of the day to let Mal know what was going on.
I totally agree with that. He did such a good job. As a result, we were able to move the tenants in literally before the final punch list was done.
Awesome.
Coming up, commercial real estate investor Chuy Terrazas takes me on a tour that took my breath away. Then, Sean and Mal share a ride through the country. And later, Chuy shows me his musical side. Next on Equity TV. Commercial real estate investor Chuy Terrazas is the most interesting investor I've ever met. His portfolio is quite diverse, with over 50 houses, 10 apartment complexes, a dance studio, And last but not least, the Bell Tower on 34th, a breathtaking venue.
All right, Brian, this is Roger Igo. Hey, how are you? Good to meet you. And my other business partner is his wife, Angela. She's phenomenal. She's not with us here today. But Roger, why don't you tell them a little bit about the Bell Tower?
The Bell Tower is an amazing 50,000 square foot facility on 3.2 acres. We have a 50-foot wide wall of water. We have an amazing chapel that serves as another party room. It's got floor-to-ceiling glass windows that open out to the water wall. We have an amazing rustic wine room area that has 3,000 bottles of wine in it. We've got lush greenery and trees and gardens all throughout the Bell Tower. We have two very large style ballrooms with their own entrances and own bar areas and own restrooms. We're adding another ballroom in the back as we speak. You may be able to hear some of the expansion going on in the back. In all, we have 9 different areas where an event can take place here at the Bell Tower.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
Chewy and I jumped into his signature shuttle bus to visit a few of his high-end single-family investments.
All aboard! All right, this is one of my favorite flips I've ever done. This little house here was $250,000. When I paid that, my friend said I was going way out on a limb. I spent $20,000 rehabbing it, and I sold it for $390. Made $120,000, and I only owned it for 2 months.
And there's such a wow factor when you walk in here. It's just striking. What was your inspiration?
Every day we strive to create an experience that everyone will remember after leaving the Bell Tower.
Yeah.
It's so unassuming from the street, but once you come in, you realize you're in a different world. You feel like you're not in Houston anymore. You feel like you're on a trip somewhere in classic Europe or classic Italy.
Believe it or not, this house behind me is considered a teardown. It's one of my favorite rehabs. I bought this thing for $590,000, which is considered lot value. Spent $300,000 totally restoring it, and sold it for $1.25 million as a profit of $350,000. Having lived in it for 2 years, it was tax-free.
How has Chewy helped with this project?
Chewy really helped us to keep the deal alive and to keep the deal together from the beginning. If it wasn't for his foresight and enthusiasm and belief in the possibilities, it would never have happened.
It seems like such a massive undertaking with how big this place is. Was it overwhelming?
You know, it is overwhelming at times. I don't have time to stop and think about it, of the size and the magnitude. Yeah. I think about, like my mom says, what is the next most important thing that you need to do, and do that.
Yeah, smart mom.
And so, similar to some advice that Chewy gives also, which is you don't need to look all the way down the street and wait for all green lights, just wait for the next green light.
Yeah. Hey guys, this house is one I bought for $175,000. I spent $50,000 rehabbing it. I'm in it for $225,000. It's valued at $450,000. Everything in this neighborhood goes from $450,000 to $700,000. So I really love the equity I have on this deal. It's actually rented out for $3,500, which leaves me about $1,000 positive cash flow.
If you had to start over again and do it, is there anything you would change?
Oh, there's so many mistakes, but that's what life is made of. And that's really, I think, what creates the wisdom to move forward and to grow. Mistakes are important, I think, in order to grow.
Yeah.
And without growth, then what's life?
What's the point? Right. Yeah, I love telling my kids, I hope you make tons of mistakes. That means you're on the court. Yeah. There's plenty of critics on the sidelines not doing a thing. That lady thought her husband was cool in that sock until she saw me in the shuttle bus. Believe it or not, this also was a tear down, supposedly, so I bought it for $250,000. I spent $50,000 rehabbing it, and I was able to sell it for $350,000, making $50,000 profit in less than 2 months. Thank you, Brian, for coming out here today.
Thank you. Thank you for showing us around.
Yes,
this place is really fantastic.
Coming up, Sean and Mal ride around the ranch in style. Then, Chewy shows me his favorite record shop, next on Equity TV.
2 days ago, I'm checking out your house, and now you got me in the back of a truck. Where the hell am I? What are we doing?
We're down on a 3,000 acre ranch of the family of a close friend of mine, and we're just riding around in late afternoon, see if we can see some deer, see some exotics. And this ranch has some trophy quality whitetail on it. just a while ago, we saw a bobcat out in the Sendero.
He did. You don't see these things in the city.
No, sir, you absolutely don't.
You've surrounded us with these real estate investors. What do these guys do?
Well, we were riding around in a truck for a good while, and now we bailed out and just enjoying the sunset. And these guys all have real estate in common. They're part of what I consider our collective teams, because each has a little bit different view on real estate and how they make their money.
When did you really start hunting?
Well, I never really hunted or fished with my dad too much growing up, and my father-in-law introduced me to hunting, and I shot my first deer at age 32.
32?
And I've been smitten with hunting ever since, and I've been trying to make up for lost time. I feel very fortunate being able to come down on ranches like this in South Texas and being with guys like you guys and shooting the bull around the campfire and telling lies and enjoying nature. And you know, one of God's creations is a turkey strutting or an elk bugling, and being able to communicate with the animal. That's just fascinating to me. We all have real estate in common, although we operate in different facets of the business: multifamily, agent, wholesaling. You know, we also have in common the love of the great outdoors. You get around people like you and some other guys that have done this a long time. Even though you're about half my age, you realize what you were afraid of before is really non-issues. You know, my goal in getting into this business is to build a passive stream of income. My wife is going to retire in another 3 years.
When I started my own business and I owned my own business, my relationship got better with my wife, because she knew every day, even when I'm working late, that what I'm doing is I'm out working for my family. Our relationship got stronger. Did that happen for you?
It has. Like you say, she knows that you're working on the welfare of your family rather than just at a job.
Coming up, Chewy takes me around town to meet a few of his friends. Then he gives us a private performance on the sax. Next on Equity TV.
Jay Leno's got a band. David Letterman's got a band. We need an Equity TV band, right? The Equitunes.
The Equitunes. I like that.
Everywhere I go with Chewy, we seem to meet someone he knows on a personal level. He truly believes in touching the lives of those around him.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
Finally.
Thomas Escalante, nice
Good to meet you. Chewy just wanted to introduce us to your record shop.
Yeah, it's called Sig's Lagoon. We named it after Sig Bird, whose picture's up there above the exit sign. He was a local writer back in the 40s and 50s. He specialized in a lot of vinyl, CDs, and resale, vintage clothes, stuff on the TV side.
Cool.
Yeah, posters, prints, that kind of stuff.
Well, this show's Equity TV. It's about having equity in real estate and equity in life. So all about living a good balanced life. What's the key to having a good balanced life in your world?
Spend as much time as you can with your family. That's what's been working for me lately.
Thank you, Thomas, for letting us say hi.
Thanks, man.
What about your band?
I've got a ska band. Y'all know what ska is? We have a ska band called The Suspects. Play around town. Have a few CDs out, and basically we're just a bunch of old dudes that still jump up and down. And if you ever want to see a 45-year-old stage diving, come to the next Suspect show. There's a lot of folks watching your shows that are probably like a little good angel, bad angel.
Sure.
Man, I want to be doing that. Oh, well, you know, who needs that? Oh, I want to do that. Oh, who needs that? And give yourself permission to have fun. Go for it. And the concept of making you don't need to make a big difference. Go out and make a small difference. You know, most people, there is no such thing as, I heard someone say this once, there is no such thing as making a big difference. There's just people out there making a small difference over and over and over again. And go make your small difference, whatever that may be.
So, hey, Chewy, what are we doing here?
All right, this is the stop off I was telling you about. I want y'all to check out Natachi's. Awesome food. And this is the owner, Pete Gordon. This guy's up to a lot of great stuff. You guys are talking about real estate.
Yeah.
This man is quite a successful guy in town. Why don't you tell him what you're up to here?
Well, we started across the street here with the Continental Club 10 years ago. Then I opened up the Big Top Lounge.
I remember walking in when you guys were getting that thing going. I can't believe that's been 10 years.
10 years, coming on 11 now. Filled up the building across the street here. I got a hold of this building behind us. I got in there and realized there's an awesome building underneath. Cleared it all out, emptied it all out, gutted it out, and rebuilt it back. started putting our friends in here.
Speaking of friends, we got Big E down here. Tell them about your barbershop.
Well, we wanted to bring a traditional barbershop back, you know, with the straight razor, the hot towels, you know, keep the tradition going like they did back in the old days. So we came up with this idea, and then we added a hair salon for the ladies and a tattoo shop for, you know, keep it modern as well.
It's easy to trick ourselves and forget to celebrate the success, celebrate the accomplishment, and instead you start to get down on yourself for, oh, but I fell short. Hey, you know, it's like someone getting a silver or a bronze at the Olympics. Well, you fell short of the gold, but dang, you still followed your dreams. You still made it to the Olympics. You actually got a medal. That's pretty awesome.
And I played piano in a lot of different bands. I played, you know, had the pleasure of playing with Chuck Berry a couple times. I played for 20 years with Mojo Nixon.
All right. Well, I'm glad we caught you. He's off to see Jimmy Vaughn, and we don't want to hold you up from that. Okay, let's go get some good grub. The feeling of gratitude, of the gratification of turning a community around, of knowing, you know, when I bought this, they had 6 drug dealers living here. And I've gone from 6 drug dealers to no drug dealers. And the last 3 people I've run into have been senior citizens that would have never given the place a second thought.
So Chewy, who's this?
All right, this is Gingy. We got Gingy and Tej over here. 2 new kittens we just added to the family.
Yeah.
And hopefully you guys don't take as long as I did to figure this out. It doesn't matter how much real estate you have if you don't have balance in your life. And my little son Nicholas has been asking me for kittens for a while.
Yeah.
I finally realized, geez, my son's 13. I was 17 when I moved away. I basically have him close to me for 4 years, and then maybe once or twice a year after that. That's really eye-opening. That's when I thought, we make time for so many things. Let's make sure we're making time for the important things.
It's quite fun. Hanging out.
I'm king of the world!
Check out equityacademy.com. It rocks.